What is going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Mose, and you're here at Mose Knows. We are on the final episode of the 2021 NFL Draft Grades with Professor Mose. We still in the Wild West, and we in the best division in football. We in the NFC West. The Seahawks, the Scrams. I can't say anything funny for the Cardinals. And the 49ers. We're going to jump right in. We're going to start with the Seahawks because they easy. We can get this done quick. They only had 3 picks. Most of their draft picks were included in the Jamal Adams trade. So yeah, you get a good player like Jamal Adams. You still got to pay him a crazy amount of money. And you don't have any draft picks to make your team better. So they only had 3 picks. No first round pick. No third round pick, no 5th round pick, no 7th round. All odds. All the odds was gone. Only evens. 2, 4, and 6, one of each. So with the first pick, they take wide receiver Dwayne Eskridge out of Western Michigan. In the 4th round, they take Trey Brown, corner out of Oklahoma. And in round 6, they take Stone Forsythe, offensive tackle out of Florida. Now, is wide receiver a need? I don't think so. You got DK Metcalf, human Batman suit. You got Tyler Lockett. Yes, I understand you lost David Moore. But if you look at David Moore's numbers, I think Dwayne Eskridge in his rookie season is only going to give you about that. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 500 or 600 yards and like 4 or 5 touchdowns, something like that. So while I understand that could be beneficial, it doesn't move the needle. It doesn't help you really take a step forward in this division. So yes, he's good to have. He offers you a ton of speed from the wide receiver position, but so does Tyler Lockett. Like, you already have somebody like that in Tyler Lockett, and you have DK Metcalf. I think that could have been focused on. Russell's complaint was, I need help up front on the offensive line. Protect me, please. So you wait until your 3rd pick in the draft, which is all the way in the 6th round, pick 208, to focus on offensive line. And with the 1st pick in the 2nd round, you go Dwayne Eskridge. And he's a small wide receiver. He's a little guy. So, I like the player. I just don't like the selection. Round 4, they take, again, Trey Brown, corner out of Oklahoma. Okay. I mean, you lost Shaquille Griffin, but is Trey Brown Shaquille Griffin? Absolutely not. And Trey Brown usually doesn't fall into the category of what a typical Seahawks corner would be. Maybe they're going away from that and, going to the best guys, not dependent upon size. But I don't see Trey Brown coming in and being a valuable contributor from a cornerback position, especially your number 1 and number 2 cornerback position. He may offer you some value in the nickel, but I think a lot of that responsibility is going to fall to DJ Reed, former 49er. So if it's not special teams, I really don't see where Trey Brown is going to come in and make it any type of meaningful impact for this defense. And then you get Stone Forsythe, offensive tackle, in the 6th round. I don't think he's going to come in and fight for a starting position. I mean, he could be a solid option as far as having backup on an offensive line, but doesn't move the needle for me at all. Seahawks get a C. Not enough draft picks, and didn't use when you have 3 draft picks, you can't gamble. And I think Dwayne Eskridge at 2 was a gamble. Trey Brown at round 4, gamble. And then you had to get some sort of offensive lineman in the 6th, and you get Stone Forsythe. Seahawks get a C. Next, moving over to the Scrams. Another team that didn't need a wide receiver. I mean, okay. You got Robert Woods. You got Cooper Kupp. You just signed Deshaun Jackson. Why did you need Tutu Atwell? I don't think you did. But Sean McVay thinks that he has this grand plan, and we'll see if it comes to fruition. You know, he got his quarterback, decisive, strong arm, and Matt Stafford. I guess he wants to have as many weapons out there he can, you know, with speed, who can stretch the field. Tutu Atwell is definitely going to do that. He has the speed. He's definitely going to be able to stretch the field. You're probably going to see him in a lot of, you know, jet motions and end arounds and sweeps and things of that nature as well. So he's going to be dynamic, but is it a position of need? Is it somebody who, you know, helps move the needle? Not immediately. Ernest Jones, linebacker out of South Carolina in the 3rd round. Oh, also Rams didn't have a 1st round pick. Tutu Atwell was the 2nd round pick. 3rd round pick was Ernest Jones. They had 3 4th round picks. First being Bobby Brown III, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. Second being Robert Rochelle, corner out of Central Arkansas. Third being Jacob Harris, wide receiver out of UCF. 5th round, 174. They take Ernest Brown the 4th, defensive end out of Northwestern. And then with 3 7th round picks, they take Jake Funk, running back out of Maryland, Ben Skoranek, wide receiver out of Notre Dame, and Chris Garrett, linebacker out of Concordia University, St. Paul. I think Ernest Jones is a solid pick. They need depth in that linebacker room. Nobody on that linebacker core right now that scares you. Does Ernest Brown scare you? No, but it's always good to have depth at that position, so you're not lacking anywhere. I think Bobby Brown III is a solid addition for the defensive line, able to add to that rotation, learn under a guy like Aaron Donald. I think that's absolutely amazing. Robert Rochelle, corner out of Central Arkansas. I don't think corner was a need here. So I don't see where Robert Rochelle offers much value outside of special teams. Jacob Harris, wide receiver out of UCF, could be a sleeper pick. If you're going to go with a wide receiver, I'm okay with it in the later rounds. And a guy like Jacob Harris who gives you something different. I think Jacob Harris is like 6'4", 6'5", 220, 225, something like that. He's a big body wide receiver. You know, you lost your tight end, Gerald Everett, in free agency. So while Harris won't slide in and play tight end, I think he can offer you a replacement as far as a big body receiving target on 3rd downs when you need to move the chains and in the red zone. So I think that's a really, really solid pick. Ernest Brown IV, defensive end out of Northwestern, rotational piece in the pass rush. Jake Funk, running back out of Maryland. I don't see what he offers you from a running back standpoint. Maybe if you try to move him to a fullback and have him as like an athletic fullback, similar to what the 49ers have in Kyle Juszczyk. But I don't see Jake Funk taking valuable snaps from any running back on this Rams team. Ben Skoranek, another wide receiver that's a bigger body guy who you can use. But to waste a pick on him here when you already have Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris, I think you could have went somewhere else. And then Chris Garrett is another depth signing. Will he make the roster? Likely not. Probably either someone that's cut to get down to 53, and maybe he makes the practice squad. So I like, again, Tutu Atwell, the player I like. I just don't like the selection. Excited for Bobby Brown III. Excited to see what Jacob Harris can provide. So the Rams got a C+. I think they could have attacked other areas of need, and they didn't do that well. I think they could have got a better linebacker than Ernest Jones. But again, Ernest Jones provides depth. C+ for the Scrams. Over to the Arizona Cardinals. Man, this was a good draft. I'm just say that out front. Every pick I liked. And I hate to say that about a division rival, but every pick I liked. 1st round pick 16. I didn't even think they were thinking of this guy, but they add Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa, college defensive player of the year. Now you put Zaven Collins next to Isaiah Simmons, and I got to deal with this twice a year. It gives me a headache thinking about it. And then this one really made my blood boil when I heard his name called. Another team that don't need receivers, but When you can add somebody like Rondale Moore in the second round, Rondale Moore is a problem. And he is coming. Christian Kirk and Andy Isabella better look out because their job is on the line. Rondale Moore is coming and he want all the smoke. But they could be 5 wide receivers deep. Andy Isabella 4'3", Christian Kirk 4'3", I think 4'4". Rondale Moore is 4'2". You got AJ Green if he could stay healthy and Hop. Come on. But just thinking about Hopman Green on the outside and Rondale Moore in the slot, yo, I don't want to deal with that twice a year. When I heard that, my blood started boiling. But that is a great pick in the second round to land Rondale Moore. He provides so much dynamic athleticism and speed, what he's able to do as a receiver, what he's able to do after catch. He's small and compact, but he's built solid. He doesn't go down on first contact. And because he's so small, you have to change the angles and the way in which you tackle. And if you don't do it right, you might miss him. And he going to the crib. So I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one. I didn't like it for us. I liked it for them. But I didn't like it for us. Fourth round. No third round pick for the Cardinals. They select Marco Wilson, corner out of Florida. Amazing. No fifth round pick, 2 sixth round picks. They take Victor Dimukeje, defensive end out of Duke. He's going to come in and be a rotational pass rusher, and he gets to learn from J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. Wow, Victor Dimukeje has a motor that's nonstop. And in the 6th round, they take Tay Gowan, corner out of UCF. Love Tay Gowan. Love his footwork. Love his press technique. He's got speed. He's long rangey. I think that's a solid pickup for that defense. Then they add James Wiggins, safety out of Cincinnati, hard-hitting safety. Love to, stick his nose in there and make solid tackles. And then in the 7th round, they take center Michael Manet out of Penn State. He's going to be a backup at first, but I think he's going to learn and grow and eventually slide into that starting spot. This draft was absolutely amazing. Nothing much more to say about it. Arizona Cardinals get an A. Hate to give a division rival an A, but Zaven Collins, Rondale Moore, Marco Wilson, Victor Dimukeje, Tay Gowan, I'm looking at all of these picks and they didn't miss. Now, does that mean that all of these players are going to contribute right away? No, but they got solid players who have the ability to contribute in some form or fashion. It may be big, it may be small, but they're able to contribute. They're able to add solid depth. And I could venture to say that without any unforeseen injuries, or if the player just doesn't have it mentally and isn't picking up, the playbook, if all of them have good camps, I can see every single one of these rookies making this roster. I don't see anybody having to be put on the practice squad. So with the talent that's here and with that included, Cardinals got an A. Cardinals got an A. And now we move over to the best team in the division. The San Francisco 49ers traded up from 12 to 3 to get the young boy Trey Lance. And I'll be honest, y'all know me, I'm transparent. At first, I wasn't a fan of Trey Lance. I thought he was like a poor man's Deshaun Watson. I had to go back and I had to watch some film. I had to watch some tape. There were some things I didn't like. Some things I think he needed to improve on. But I think that's for most rookies coming from college to the NFL. But as I continue to watch his off-season process and progress, watching the film that was put out from his camp and from other camps, from all the training that he had been doing, from the work that he put in as far as his passing mechanics, his footwork, his dropbacks, his release, he kind of grew on me. Watched his pro day and he grew on me. And then he's a 49er, so I got to ride with him. So I'm excited. Hopefully Jimmy can play well and Trey can continue to learn and to develop and to grow, and he won't have to see action early. But if he does, I'm excited to see what he does, what he can do. Put him out there and let us see the magic that is Trey Lance. With our second round pick, we were higher up, but then we traded back. And we traded back and we got a guard, Aaron Banks out of Notre Dame. We had 2 third-round picks. We traded up for the first of these 2, and we selected Trey Sermon, running back out of Ohio State. With our second third-round pick, we select Ambry Thomas, corner out of Michigan. No 4th-round pick. With our 2 5th-round picks, we select Jalen Moore, guard out of Western Michigan. And then we select Talanoa Hufanga, a safety out of USC. Round 6, we select Elijah Mitchell, running back out of Louisiana. And I don't know why it isn't here, but we do have one more draft pick, cornerback Diamador Lenore out of Oregon. It's not listed here, but we did draft him. The Aaron Banks pick obviously is not a sexy pick, but Aaron Banks was one of the highest rated guards in college and throughout this draft process. We definitely needed an upgrade on the offensive line. The only reason why I wasn't happy about the selection is because we traded back. I think we were pick 45, maybe higher than that. And we traded back to 48. And the Chargers at 47 took Asante Samuel Jr. Obviously, we drafted 2 corners, so cornerback was a need. And I thought if we had an opportunity to get Asante Samuel Jr. and he's still on the board, I'm like, oh, that's a no-brainer. We get Trey Lance, and in the second round, get Asante Samuel Jr. Let's go. We traded back to 48. He was still on the board. And then at 47, he goes right before we select. So I was a little perturbed about that because I really wanted Asante Samuel Jr. I think we needed to upgrade our cornerback position. I think he would have been a perfect fit for our defense, but it didn't go that way. So we selected Aaron Banks, guard out of Notre Dame. I think he's going to come in right away, and he's going to fight for that starting guard spot. Not the left guard because that's going to Laken Tomlinson. Ooh, excuse me. But I think he's going to slide in and start at right guard for us. Traded up to get Trey Sermon. I love the pick. A lot of our running backs have been these, small, little scat back type running backs. And again, I love Raheem Mostert. His speed is undeniable. He's been able to put it together in recent years and been a valuable piece for us. We had Jeff Wilson Jr., but we lost him to a torn meniscus. I think Trey Sermon is a solid running back for this offense. He's a bigger back, but don't skimp on his speed. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can block in pass protection. I think he's going to be a welcome addition to this offense to help wear down these opposing defenses in our division, to allow that play action game to be a little bit more effective. I thought that was a great pick, something out of the norm for what Kyle Shanahan and this offense does. But I'm excited to see what he's able to do. Third round, we take Ambry Thomas. This guy has speed for days. I think our defense is moving more to a man scheme than a zone scheme. So somebody like Thomas with his athleticism, with his speed, with his change of direction, I think he might even provide some additional value in special teams as a kick or a punt returner. Ambry Thomas can do it all. Love the pick. Jalen Moore is going to be one of our first backups for either guard position, right or left. Talanoa Hufanga, safety out of USC. Some people are calling him baby Troy Polamalu. He fell in the draft due to some injury concerns and his inability to stay on the field on a consistent basis. But if he does, he's a ball hawk. He's not going to wow you with his speed. He doesn't run 4.3, but he's a hitter. He's a solid tackler, and he knows how to get the ball back for the offense, whether it's punching the ball out or stripping the ball and forcing a fumble or getting his hands on an interception. Talanoa Hufanga is a ball hawk who knows how to get the ball back for his offense. Elijah Mitchell is another speed back, but I think he's a speed back with size. He's one of those short, compact, stout runners who has power, but don't you blink because he will run by you. He has speed for days. And again, not listed here, Diamador Lenore. Excellent corner. I think he's going to provide depth for us. I think you can see him being used, in spots where we need to go, 4, maybe 5 wide and cover extra receivers. With all the receivers that were drafted throughout this division, we may need 5 corners on the field sometimes. We brought back, why am I forgetting my team players? Goodness gracious. It's right on the tip of my tongue too. Why am I forgetting it? K-Wan. We brought back K-Wan Williams. It was right on the tip of my tongue. I don't know why I had a brain fart real quick. We brought back K-Wan Williams, so he is going to be our nickel. We know that for certain. He's going to be our nickel. But maybe you could see Diamador Lenore on a rotational basis. K-Wan has dealt with some injuries. So if, K-Wan goes down for any reason, maybe we can bring in Diamador, to play, some of those nickel snaps if, K-Wan Williams is unable to go for whatever reason. He had a good rookie camp. Yes, we did have the issue with him tweeting out the play, and then we got, fined for, not following practice standards. But what I saw in that play, I saw a corner who's aggressive. I saw a corner who has good feet. I saw a corner who has good hands, is able to chuck at the line of scrimmage, and get the wide receiver off of his intended route. And when the ball's in the air, he can make a play on the ball. So I think Diamador Lenore is a great young corner that we can have and build on and develop. So all in all, I love our draft. Don't want to be a homer and be too excited about it. Because like I said, I think we could have got corner earlier with somebody like Asante Samuel Jr., drafting 2 running backs, while at the time I didn't think was necessary. Now with the injury to Jeff Wilson Jr. and what, could potentially happen, maybe that's a good thing. The 2 guards not addressing, the tackle position, maybe having a better backup tackle or somebody who could even come in and challenge Mike McGlinchey for a starting right tackle spot. So I gave my 49ers a B+ with this draft. Trey Lance isn't going to start right away because we have Jimmy Garoppolo. That factored into the decision. Not taking Asante Samuel Jr., Talanoa Hufanga with the injury issues, double running back, things of that factored in to me giving the 49ers a B+. But I love the draft. I love all of these rookies, and I'm excited to see what they're able to do through mini camp, training camp, especially in the preseason games. You only get 3 of them this year, so you got to come with your A game. So I want to see who fights for a spot on this roster and how they contribute throughout the season. That'll do it. That's gonna wrap up this series, and we got to come up with some more ideas. I think I have some things that I wrote down on the idea board. So put some more things together. Hit you guys with a new series coming very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that like if you enjoyed this video. Greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Let me know what you guys thought about these draft grades. Is your team in this division? Are you watching this? Are you one of my rivals? Are you faithful? Are you a part of the Niner gang? Let me know what you thought about these draft grades. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What grade did you give your team? You can hit me in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys as always. Keep that up. It's been amazing so far. You can contact me on all of my other social medias if you have any ideas or any things you want to chat about in the NFL landscape. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can catch me on all those social media platforms. The link will be in the description below. If you're looking for podcasts, if you need audio only, I'm on all major podcast platforms. Those links will be in the description. Also, thank you so much for tuning in. Your family, and there's nothing you can do about it. So help me out, family. Hit that like button. Thumbs it up for me. Then hit that subscribe button. Then take another 2 seconds and hit that bell icon so that you get notified when new content drops right here at Mose Knows. Love you. Appreciate you. See you on the next one. Peace.